take that. So he already explained everything. Get organized, make election rigging difficult. You know, we know what happened in 2023, and a lot of people are disillusioned. A lot of people do not believe in the system. A lot of people, I think there's a lot of voter apathy right now, because if you call Nigerians to vote right now, a lot of people will be like, oh, my vote won't count. So we came up with this campaign to let people understand that their votes do actually count. Do you understand that election rigging actually thrive where there are low turnouts? You know, their aim is to make you disillusioned, make you not come out. If you don't vote, you will be voted for. They will vote on your behalf. That's just the truth. The ballots, the papers are not going to be empty. That's why sometimes you see it captured on camera. People are thumbprinting multiple times because the rightful people who are supposed to be there didn't come out. So this campaign is a way of you know, energizing the people, sensitizing the people, building the hope of the people, that when we turn up en masse and we vote, we protect our votes, it's going to make election rigging difficult, if not impossible. So that's the aim of this campaign.
So what exactly are you doing? We know that Aneke has started the online registration.
Yes.
What are you doing in the area of educating, mobilizing people to go out and register?
Okay, so we started our unit campaigns. Now, when we said get organized, we looked at the last election and we looked at where the challenges are. And if you can tackle the smallest unit. So in the electoral process, we have the polling unit, right, which is the most critical because polling units are where results are declared, right? That is where every other thing after the polling unit is called the collation process. The results are being collated. So we are the obedient movement. We are going down to the last mile, which is the polling unit. So we are organizing from the polling unit. We are telling our people, INEC registration, the new voter registration have started, and we are more on the young voters, the first-time voters. Please come out, and we thank Aneke TV for giving us the platform, because this is also the advocacy we've been doing for the past 2 weeks. Come out, go get registered, right? Yeah. So as we're asking people to come out to go get registered, there is this other side of the divide. The last election, now what happened? We came out and we voted, our vote did not count. But that's not true in its entirety, right? Okay. Because, when you look at data, you can say, okay, your vote did not count to a certain level, but your vote counted for some certain people. Because in Enugu, for instance, for the first time, we sent people to the House of Reps.
Okay.
It wasn't a party people came out and said, we are tired of the PDP. Let's get Labour Party to the House. And that's people's votes get, counting. Let me shock you. In the last by-election, when people say, our vote don't count, in the last by-election in Enugu South, the person who was running is in prison. He's in prison for 7 years. Guess what happened?
What happened?
He won.
Okay, but is that not against what the movement believes in? If the movement is getting a convicted person elected?
No, I'm not. No, his people believe that the circumstances surrounding his imprisonment is a different conversation. Okay. But what I'm saying is that even someone that is in prison, okay, his people...
You are letting us know the power of the people.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. His people came out and say, we want this person and we are going to stand by this person. That election have happened more than 5 times or so. They will cancel it. They will come back again. They will vote for the same person. They will cancel. So when people say our votes don't count, let's be factual. Do our vote... Is it true? Okay. Yes. Something might have happened in the last election. And it's not our vote. Our vote counted. But somebody somewhere decided to switch up something. And they called it a glitch. Yeah. Right? It was a human error.
Allegedly someone. We said, okay, there's a glitch.
Yes.
but allegedly someone
Well,
switched off, so we don't know that.
Whether it was a glitch or
or not.
someone switched it off, the thing it shows that they were inefficient because a lot of money went into these beavers and the IREV.
All right. Talking
So
of
it's still
inefficiency, talking of a glitch, that's understandable, but we don't know that it was a human
It's a human error.
error.
it's a
It's a
human
human
error, of
error.
course.
Wayek had glitches
Yes.
recently. Jam had glitches recently,
Those are
right?
technical glitches.
Technical. But what did they do? They came out. They brought independence. They brought independence investigators or so, and they went through their system and they were able to narrow down. This is the contractor. This is where it is happening from. INEC to date is yet to come out and tell us
Who was
who
responsible for
was
that glitch?
responsible.
All right. Before we get to that,
Eh.
we are still talking government.
Yes.
We are still talking voter registration.
Yes.
But before I ask, what exactly, if you go to the market to sensitize people, I want to call your attention to the data released by INEC. In the data they released recently, they have a record of about 2.6 million persons
Yeah.
taking advantage of the registration exercise. In the southwest, in the southwest region, Osun State alone has 474,372 registrants. Lagos, 355,372. Getting to Ogun State, we have 265,399. Oyo State, you have 128,231. And then, when you go further, you will see that FCT, Kaduna, Kogi State, they put higher numbers when compared to Southeast.
Okay.
Let me narrow it down to Ebonyi State, for instance. In Ebonyi State, they have only 490 registrants. In Enugu State, you have 856. Getting down to Anambra State, perhaps because of the election, you have 5,383. And then Abia State recording 1,845. Are you not worried?
Okay.
Being that you are in the southeast, this is where your drive, this is where the movement is in terms of advocating for Go Med.
Okay, actually, we're going to come to that. First of all, the movement is national. It's not domiciled in the
But this
southeast.
is this is the
This is
Enugu.
where I am. Yeah, we
Yes.
are the Enugu
So is the
chapter.
Enugu chapter failing?
No, the truth is, over the years, if you look at data, I think one of the problems we have in the Southeast is that it's not a problem, but one of the major issues in our involvement in politics is that we are not really politically inclined. We are more of business people. We are more of entrepreneurs. So the Igbo man feels like, please, the election day, I just finish this election, let me go and open my shop. Do you understand? So this thing has, over time, if you look at the 2015 election, the Southeast produced about 2.7 million votes, while Kano State alone produced 2.1 million votes. Then in the last election, 2023, the Southeast, we had about 10.9 million registered voters. At the end of the day, it was just 1.4 million. A state like Imo State voted about 50,000 voters. Like 50,000 people voted in Imo State, and that was very, very low. So the truth is, we should understand, that's why we are advocating. The Southeasterners should understand that no matter how good and thriving your business is, one policy from the government can crumble it. We've seen businesses leaving the country. We've seen our businesses going down, and entrepreneurs are crying. So this is the aim of the advocacy. We are calling on the Southeasterners, please, let's get involved, because leaving it for them doesn't make any sense. Number one, it makes you don't have any bargaining power. So the person just wants to get maybe 25% into third, and the Southeast doesn't have anything to hold on to politically. So we are advocating. We are not failing. We've been trying our best. Here in Enugu, we've had our press conference, and the obedient movement in Enugu is one of the strongest chapters of the obedient movement. We have an office at number 22 Avanikoku Street, and our state coordinator, Klat Chukwude Ikenna, he's been going above and beyond, to make sure that we do the door to door. We are on to door right now. He can actually confirm. Yeah, Mr. Judicial.
All right. Door to door, what's the
So what I was talking about, the unit going down to the unit, because the unit is like in your village. I'm from Usudoshi and Nugu. So going to your community to sensitize them to get registered. So the apathy, I would say, that's the apathy in the Southeast is not because it didn't start today. It started way back. So what the obedient movement is doing, I'm just coming from another radio station to be here. We've been on, media campaign for the past 2 weeks, right? So what we're doing is to tell our people, can we move? We've done this over time. We've done this for more than 2-3 decades, right? The data over time have shown that there is apathy in election participation in the Southeast, right? So what we are doing is getting from unit to ward to the local government. We are putting foot on ground to move from door to door to encourage our people to come out and register. That's because what we are targeting is first-time voters. So the people who voted last year are telling first-time voters, don't waste your time, right? So we are fighting two evils here, the apathy, and then the people who are encouraging the apathy, right? Do not go and register. Forget those people. They don't know what they're saying. Now, what is happening in the Southwest? Whether we want to believe what Aneke is putting out or not, right? Because Aneke have refused to let independent people verify some of these data that they churn out, right? Okay. So whether we want to believe it or not, what is happening in the Southwest is that they saw what happened in Lagos and how the Lagos election was decided. And they're now saying, wait, you should go and get registered. So they are preparing for the next election. They are getting armor. They are getting their armory in check so that in the next election, they will come out. But also, I want to emphasize something, that in the Southeast, until we tie the civic responsibility to our religious obligation, until we tie those two things, right? I think it will be hard for us to know that if you do not vote, if you do not participate in the electoral process, you are an enabler of the demonstration of craze we call democracy. You're an enabler of evil. Let me put it like this. If you do not participate, one of my aunts was telling me, God will do it, God will help us. And I said, Auntie, did you vote in the last election? She said, no. Do you have a voter's card? She said, no. I said, God helps, heaven help those who help themselves. So if we do not participate, so we are asking media houses like you, we are asking everyone, churches, market women, market leaders, religious leaders, town union president. We are reaching out to them. This is a platform where we reach out to everybody. We must get our people to participate in this election, because if they don't, what is happening will keep happening. We're just looking at the data from Aneke. Did you see the data from the presidency about allocation of the budget allocation across region?
Okay, tell me about it.
We got 8%.
Perhaps you didn't vote the APC.
It's a federation. It's a federation. It's not about who you voted for.
Or who you didn't.
It's a federation. But our people do not care. Many people don't even know about this data that is out.
So because maybe you didn't turn out, you don't participate, so you lack the bargaining chip when it comes to allocation and distribution of resources.
Okay, we're back. Yes, that's another angle. Another angle.
All right, listening to you, your movement, are they calling for INEC to open their data to forensic audit?
Yes.
By that I mean independent auditors to audit their data and others.
Even the federal government once in a while gets independent auditors, even as a business. If Aneke, I hope you guys are registered. Before you do your annual returns. Yes, before you do your annual returns, you get an independent auditor to come and audit you.
And seeing the president of INEC, the previous, I think every Nigerian, personally, as a Nigerian, I'm calling for independent audit of those figures, because I can say, as in my capacity as a Nigerian, I do not trust the INEC, because they've actually not given me any reason to trust them.
All right, talking about that, I am quite aware that you participated in the constitutional review this in Enugu State when they came to Enugu State.
Yes, I was there.
What were you pushing for actually?
Okay, we actually pushed for electoral reforms, and some of those reforms were where the president don't have to appoint an INEC chairman.
Wow.
Yes,
And
because you can't appoint someone. You can't appoint someone to be an umpire where you're going to participate. Someone to judge you. So it already gives room for bias.
was that position adopted?
No, when we came, we said the chairman of the chairman, Senator Abonyi, I think Ebonyi or something. Yeah, he took those things down. It's not something. It's when the people keep talking about it. When the people keep mounting the pressure on it, talking about, and we also called for accountability of INEC. Look at what happened with the beavers, how the amount of money they said they invested, at the end of the day, this thing didn't work, and nobody was held responsible for it. Nobody was held accountable for it.
All right. Having talked about all this, the obedience movement, 4 persons tweeting in a row, you lost an election.
Yeah.
We heard that the movement is no longer strong and viable. What is the movement doing at the moment?
She just mentioned our
Our
office.
We mentioned we have an office.
There could be an office and nothing is happening.
Okay, globally, let me speak a bit about the obedient movement right now. The obedient movement is the strongest movement right now in the whole of Africa, if not the world. I dare say. Okay, so they said we were, okay, imagine what we did spontaneously within a period of 8 months, 4 persons tweeting in a room. Nobody took us serious. They didn't take us serious. We had some of those big politicians coming to say, oh, the youths, they are not serious. We will shock them. But at the end of the day, we actually lit up the polity and everything went on fire.
All right.
So right now, okay, you ask me a question, I'm coming.
Yeah,
so right now, the obedient movement is a very formidable force. We have a structure. We are in all the states. You saw what happened on the 19th of July, the birthday of our principal, Ali Dapitobi. Every state across Nigeria celebrated him by reaching out. This is what he preaches. We reached out to the society, we reached out to the people. So if we were not organized, if we were not strong, we couldn't have spoken with one voice across the country. Right now, we have a website. We have a website, obedient.com, where every obedient, it's not enough to say you're an obedient, because he said obedience, anybody that wants good governance is an obedient. It's an obedient by design, and we cut across party. The APC, the PDP, the LP. So we are actually very strong and we are growing.
All right.
Just to hammer on what he said about the about the Obedient website. So it's obedient.com, and on the Obedient website, anybody can register.
All right.
Anybody can
two
register.
Issues here.
Okay.
Because I asked, where is the obedience movement and where are you headed?
Okay.
I asked that question because, one, most of the politicians elected on your platform, on your watch, has left the Labour Party, which is the vehicle the obedient movement used in the last election.
Yeah.
As at this moment, most of them have left your fold. So, it will be said that you're weakened. You're no longer a force to be reckoned with.
Okay, can I answer that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
just
go,
answer, you can go ahead.
yeah.
Okay, so those politicians are just about 0.00000000000, like the minutest percentage of the obedient movement. Quite all right, in 2023, the wave of P2B, so a lot of people rode on the wave of P2B and got into seats. So we didn't actually have time to vet these people, So right now, imagine what we did in 8 months and what we are going to do in about 2 years plus, right? So right now, the obedient movement, in that our website, there is a place for people who have interest in governance. You come and you register on the website, because we are not just looking at...
Okay. Sorry to cut in. Are you trying to metamorphose into a political party?
No.
No.
So why the registration? Why telling those who want to vie for office to come register with you?
Okay, let me help her out. now on the website, like we said, what we are trying to achieve on the website are in twofold. One, we want to know those who are obedient and their electoral value. So I'm registered on the website, and on the website, I'm mandated to have 100 people registered under me, right? Those 100 people have their voters card, they have a unit, they have the polling unit. I know their polling unit, I know their ward, I know all those things. That's on one side. On the other side, we adopted the obedient movement, adopted His Excellency Peter Obi as our model of leadership. And we're saying, looking at what happened in the last election, politicians took advantage
Yeah.
of the movement, right? And we supported Labour Party, and they took advantage. Labour Party did not vet these politicians. Anybody who is willing to run, they will get a ticket, and they ran under the Labour Party using the obedient movement force to get into various houses of our House of Assembly, the Senate, and all that. Now, what we are doing is that our principal is now saying we want to mentor people. We want to look at the 3 C's. Do you have character? Do you have competency?
So
And do you have compassion?
what you're saying in essence is that there's no plan to move the obedient from a movement to a political party.
No, she just said that we are cut across all political
All right.
parties.
Now you talked about your leader, who is a totem of the party.
Yes.
Mr. Peter.
Yes.
His Excellency.
Yes. We've read. In fact, not only reading, we've heard and we've seen former Minister of Information, Professor Jerry Gana, Governor of Bauchi State, to mention a few, who has been in the advocacy for him to return to the PDP. Would the obedient movement move back to the PDP with him, should that be the case?
In politics, right, politicians are free to say whatever they want, right? But those things are things that they are saying. P2B, His Excellency P2B, have said repeatedly that he is a member of the Labour Party as of today, right? And he is in a coalition to adopt ADC for 2027 election. Until he says otherwise, those other things, PDP is dying. They will need something, to keep them in the conversation.
Keep the conversation going.
It's just, so whenever anybody wants to say anything now, he will mention P2B.
The star boy.
Yes, whenever anybody wants to get.
But are you not worried?
No.
At the end of the day, there will not be any platform. Labour Party is bedeviled with crisis, cost issues. The PDP as well. In fact, as we speak, there is no opposition in the country. Are you not worried?
Okay.
No, I think you're wrong if you say there's no opposition in the country. Because if there's no opposition in the country, even people in governance, the people in the government, Bayo Nanuga, what's the other guy's name, Daniel Bwala, they won't be talking about P2B. Wike was in an interview and he spent his time being frustrated about where P2B was going. So there is an opposition. They are rattled by him. I don't know.
Yeah, of course.
P2B is an individual. He doesn't make the opposition.
Well, he's an opposition. That's the thing.
He's a Labour Party.
Labour Party, like I mentioned, is bedeviled with crisis.
Of course.
Are you not worried?
No.
Come 2027, you may not have a platform for P2B to survive.
Do you know?
Aneke said openly, let him come. Let him see the person that will bring P2B to PDP.
Do you know we have 19 registered political parties?
Exactly.
19 registered political parties. There is no way we can run out of political parties.
Invariably, the obedient, like nomads, may migrate away from the Labour Party.
You're talking about the Labour Party now because P2B went in there. In before the last election or in 2015, you wouldn't be talking about the Labour Party. It was the APC and PDP.
All right.
So,
but is the obedient movement part of the coalition?
Our principal is part of the coalition,
And we
so
stand with him.
where he goes.
We go.
And do you have do you feel you have the chance to clinch the ticket in the coalition?
Well, he's the star boy. There is no. The Jerry Ghana of the world came out to say that they made a terrible mistake for not adopting Peter Obi in the PDP to run up to the 2003 election.
Okay.
Everyone knows that. So it's going to be political suicide for the coalition not to give Peter Obi the ticket.
Right now, even P2B tells us we should focus on getting people registered. We should focus on people having their PVC. You know, a lot of discussions are going underway, and we are not even bothered about the party he's going to run. That is not the discussion at hand right now. We just need our people to get organized so that at the end of the day, we would make election rigging difficult.
All right. If you're just joining us, we are speaking with members of the Go Med movement, Ms. Toti Messi and Mr. Ajuluchukwu, on issues shaping our nation. Ms. Toti, is there any plan to run for an office?
Me?
Yeah.
Right now, I wouldn't say no, but you know, if we need good people to be in the office, if we need change makers, we have the change to start from us.
Is that why you're in the movement?
That's why I said right now, I don't know what the future holds, but right now I'm interested in good governance. So if good people don't run for offices, how would you get good governance?
Okay. Now that you've mentioned it, good people, the obedient movement, apart from the website that you mentioned, what other measures are you taking to see that people are vetted before being pushed forward by the political parties? Given the fact that most of the members who are assumed are the citizens, they don't have that war chest like the seasoned politicians.
Okay. You know, in the last election, they used this saying that we have no structure. But now we know that the people are the structure. About vetting politicians, or about vetting people who are going to run for office, our principal will always tell you, go and verify. So we're looking for men and women with the 3 C's who will come out and ask us to go and verify. And if we verify and we see that you are of reputable character, of course, we'll put you on the ballot.
And another thing is that we are trying to shift the power from the politicians to the citizens. So even if we put you there and you do not deliver, the next cycle will get you out.
How can you finance such a candidate?
How did we finance the last election?
I don't know.
Yes, the people. Like I said, we must connect our civic responsibility with our religious obligation. If we connect this, how are churches building their church?
I'm not a pastor.
Yeah. So you must. Ndị Igbo si na ịkpọ ihe mkpa. Yeah. When you now say, this is an obligation and I must fulfill it. You put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
On that note, we'll go on a short break. And when we return, we'll continue with these issues.
Religion. Religion wears many names, but in its deepest form is not in rituals. It is in love. True faith is not louder than others. It listens. It breaks bread with strangers and weeps with the broken. We are not defined by the places we kneel, but by the way we rise and reach for each other. The prophets came not to divide, but to remind us that all paths to God must pass through kindness. So, let our prayers not end in temples. Let them begin in how we live, in the warmth we give, and in the bridges we build beyond belief.
All right. Thank you for staying with us. We're still talking with the members of the MED movement, Go Med, an arm of the obedient movement pushing for electoral reform, voter sensitization, and registration. Now that we mentioned it, in our politics today, we've seen defections. As it stands today, it's as if what we have is one political party. Most of the governors, most of the elected representatives have the camps and are decamping. Those that have not decamped seems to be doing what personally I would call PDAPC or an undeclared coalition of political parties. Where do you stand on that, Mr. Nasim?
Yeah, the last time when we had the electoral reform, it's one of the points I made, the obedient movement in Enugu we made. I think there should be some sort of law, some sort of amendments to make it impossible for you to defect and retain. The law of defection and retention. You cannot defect. When people come out to vote for the Labour Party, they gave you their mandate. So if at any point you feel you don't want to continue with the Labour Party, you should be able to forfeit your seat. So people cannot give PDP their mandate. People voted for PDP. Remember, we don't vote for individuals, right? In as much as we are looking at the individual, we are looking at his competency, but he has a party that drove him there. So the party that is the driver. So we cannot come and vote for LP, and at the end of the day, you are defecting, and you still retain your seat. I think I don't know. But that's something that should be amended and looked into.
All right. Now, before we go, I would want to ask, what's your general assessment of the APC government led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Bearing in mind that this government is said to have stabilized the economy. In fact, just not a few days ago, he said they've realized their IGR for the year. So it seems the APC government are doing well.
Is your life better since 2023? That's what. Is your life better? If your life is better, then AP is doing well. For me, my life is not better. My take home can't even take me to the bus stop anymore. So
Okay.
that's.
So you're still pushing for a change.
The economy has tanked. The APC met the dollar at 600 or thereabout, and they took it to 1,500. They took it to 1,800, and then they brought it back. They brought it back to 1,500, and you're saying the economy has stabilized. How?
All right. Before I ask for your final,
Where is GlaxoSmithKline? A lot of companies have left Nigeria.
People are leaving.
The last time I went to ShopRite, I was like, what's happening here?
It's empty.
It's empty. Games
all
have
right,
packed up.
before I ask for your final comments, for once of time,
Yeah.
we're in Enugu State.
Yeah.
Is there any plan to support a new candidate or to join the performing governor of Enugu State?
Performing is subjective, right? From where I'm sitting, the present government of Enugu State is doing average, right? Average. Insecurity, average. In fact, the more they churn out data, what they are doing on insecurity, the more we have incidents around the state, right? The more they say this is what we are doing, the more we are getting reports of things. This is what is happening in the state. They promised us water in how many days? 180 days. It's been 2 years, right? There is a federal indictment on the water resources, in water resources. There is a federal indictment on that. Where again on education, school are resuming in this September. The smart school, aside the one in the governor's village, I doubt any smart school people will be resuming in any of those smart schools today. So where that they are patching roads and building hotels, yeah, those are the fine things of life that they are doing. But we are talking about the basic.
All right, Mr. Ajiko, for once of time, let me get your final comments on GOMAD.
Go get organized and make election rigging difficult. When we say make election rigging difficult, what we are saying is come out and vote in your polling unit. Protect your result from your polling unit to your ward collation center, from the ward collation center to the local government collation center, from the local government collation center to the state. If we do this, we are going to eliminate election rigging.
All right. Ms. Toti, do you have anything to tell the voters in Enugu?
Oh, please, my dear people of Southeast and the Bani, Let us wake up. Let us
What
wake
does
up
that mean?
and get involved. A rat cannot eat. Like if you are awake now, a rat cannot come and eat from your plate. But if you're sleeping, a
Yes.
rat can eat from your plate.
All right, this is where we draw the curtain on today on the insight. Remember, reach us on our socials at Aneke TV on Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, and YouTube. Remember, your voice matters. Send us your opinion, what you think on these issues or other issues that we should discuss on the program. And thank you for staying with us. I remain your host, Mr. Uche Osai, and Ms. Toti and Ajujuku. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for
Yeah,
joining us.
Thank you for having
thank you,
us.
Aneke TV, for having us. It was a wonderful
You're
time.
welcome.
The Federal Capital Territory (FCT) is a monumental city of edifice strategically designed to showcase the aesthetic beauty of a natural ambience, a land of opportunities often referred to as the center of unity. Abuja is the political hub of the nation, lying strategically at the center of Nigeria. It was officially designated as the capital in 1976, replacing Lagos, and formally became the seat of government in 1991. The decision to build Abuja was rooted in its central location, neutrality among Nigeria's diverse ethnic groups, and its vast land space, which made it perfect for expansion. Today, Abuja has grown into a well-planned, organized, and prestigious city that tells the story of Nigeria's unity and ambition. Early mornings in Abuja are alive with the buzzing sound of cars speeding through wide boulevards and flyovers. Porsche cars and executive luxury vehicles glide alongside long buses and motorcycles, painting a picture of a city where classes mix but remain distinct. It is a city where aristocrats, ruling elites, and key players of the capitalist industry share the same roads with artisans, traders, and ordinary Nigerians striving for daily survival. Yet, despite the aura of power, excellence, and wealth, Abuja is uniquely human. It is not unusual to see a minister of the Federal Republic or a high-ranking official standing in line at a shopping mall, waiting to buy one or two things like everyone else. That blend of prestige and simplicity is part of what makes Abuja truly alive. As the center of unity, Abuja is home to people from every corner of the nation, hosting over 5 major ethnic languages and countless cultural groups. Each carries its cultural emblem and beliefs, all interwoven into the city's cosmopolitan fabric. Added to this is Abuja's international status. Embassies from nearly every nation in the world stand tall within its borders, making it not just Nigeria's capital, but also a diplomatic hub where cultures, politics, and global relations converge. The city's uniqueness is greatly seen in its structures and landmarks. Its skyline boasts the impressive NNPC Towers, the Golden Domed National Mosque, the World Trade Center, the City Gate, and the imposing Federal Secretariat. The Central Bank of Nigeria rises as a symbol of economic authority, while the National Assembly complex represents democracy in action. Justice is anchored at the Supreme Court, and other high courts, and national pride gathers at the Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center. a hub for global summits and national dialogues. These monumental structures scattered across the city give Abuja its distinctive blend of power, beauty, and modernity. Abuja's districts are carefully planned and speak volumes of its identity. Maitama is mapped out as a residential haven for the wealthy, top politicians, and high-profile individuals. Asokoro is equally affluent, hosting ministers, governors, and ambassadors. Katampe Extension and Gazupe Estate are fast-rising luxury neighborhoods with scenic landscapes, while areas like Garki, Wuse, and Area 11 estates blend commercial activities with residential living. Each zone tells its own story, yet all are tied together by the city's larger vision of order and beauty. Infrastructure is one of Abuja's strongest assets. Unlike many cities that grew without planning, Abuja was designed with foresight. Its broad highways are lined with greenery. Its roundabouts are often adorned with fountains and sculptures, and its flyovers make navigation seamless. The city gate stands as a welcoming symbol of pride, while routes leading to Aso Rock Presidential Villa reflect the seat of Nigeria's authority. From the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, travelers from across the world step into a city that is both modern and distinctly Nigerian. What makes Abuja special is not only its structures but also its spirit. It is a city where wealth and influence meet.
Football. Football is more than a game. It's a language. It speaks joy in every goal, unity in every chant, and hope in every comeback. On the field, we forget our names and remember we are one. A single ball moves across lines, but erases boundaries, rich or poor, young or old. In that 90-minute stretch, everything matters. And sometimes, it's not just about winning. It is about belonging. Football teaches us that losing is temporary, but passion is permanent. That the spirit of the game often outlasts the score, and in the roar of the crowd, we find something like home. Religion. Religion wears many names, but in its deepest form is not in rituals. It is in love. True faith is not louder than others. It listens. It breaks bread with strangers and weeps with the broken. We are not defined by the places we kneel, but by the way we rise and reach for each other. The prophets came not to divide, but to remind us that all paths to God must pass through kindness. So, let our prayers not end in temples. Let them begin in how we live, in the warmth we give, and in the bridges we build beyond belief.
Good afternoon and welcome to the news across the country on Aneke TV. First, the headlines. U.S. approves $32.5 million aid for Nigeria to address hunger. Borno State Governor leads Northeast governors to meet President Tinubu. Police confirm third dead in two separate accidents in Enugu State. Now the news in details. I'm Deborah Nwakauba. The United States has approved $32.5 million for Nigeria to address hunger. This is rare since President Donald Trump suspended most aid through the U.S. Agency to International Development USAID. According to a statement by the U.S. mission to Nigeria, the funding will provide food assistance and nutritional support to internally displaced people, IDPs, in conflict-affected areas. The U.S. mission said the donation would provide food and nutrition assistance to 764,205 beneficiaries across northeast and northwest of Africa's most populous country. This includes complementary nutrition top-ups for 41,569 pregnant and breastfeeding women and girls and 43,235 children through electronic food vouchers. Also, the United Nations has decried the deepening humanitarian impact of terrorism in West Africa and the Sahel, revealing that 1,364 children were recruited by armed groups in 2024, while more than 14,000 schools were shut due to insecurity. UN Under-Secretary General and Special Representatives of the Secretary General for West Africa and the Sahel, Mr. Leonardo Simeo, stated this at the regional conference on combating energy terrorist groups and strengthening sustainable security in the ECOWAS region and the Sahel in Abuja. Mr. Simao said the situation reflects stolen futures, fractured communities, and deepening fragility, as terrorist groups increasingly exploit ungoverned spaces, local grievance, and advanced technologies such as drones and encrypted communications to entrench their operations. In the meantime, Governor Babagana Zulum of Borno State yesterday led a delegation of Northeast governors to meet with President Bola Tinubu. The meeting, held at the presidential villa in Abuja, focused on critical issues affecting the Northeast, including urgent completion of 17 vital road projects neglected for decades and the resumption of oil exploration in the frontier wells, particularly the Kolmani and Lake Chad wells. Delivering his address during the meeting, Governor Zulum, who is also the chairman of the Northeast Governors Forum, urged the president to complete the ongoing road project and build critical roads connecting the 6 states of the zone. He commended the president for the commitment to restoring peace within the Northeast. The governor assured the president of their commitment to his administration's initiative on training of manpower and providing technology with a view to reversing the insecurity facing the Northeast. Now moving over to security. The Nigerian Air Force says it has killed more than 15 terrorists in an airstrike on a hideout in the Sambisa forest area of Borno State. In a statement issued by its spokesperson, Air Commodore Ehimen Ejomdame, the force said the operation was carried out yesterday by the air component of Operation Hardin Kai. According to him, the strike targeted an enclave west of Zua, identified through intelligence and surveillance as a hideout for fighters and commanders linked to recent attacks around Bita in Gwoza local government area of Borno State. Ejodame said the airstrike destroyed structures used by the insurgents and degraded their operational capacity. This news broadcast is coming to you live from Aneke TV. Remember, you can follow us on all social media feeds on Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok, and here on YouTube, all at Aneke TV. Now a quick look at major developments in the news. U.S. approves $32.5 million aid for Nigeria to address hunger. Borno State Governor leads Northeast governors to meet President Tinubu. Coming up shortly, police confirmed third dead in two separate accidents in Enugu State. The news returns after the break.
Religion. Religion wears many names, but in its deepest form is not in rituals. It is in love. True faith is not louder than others. It listens. It breaks bread with strangers and weeps with the broken. We are not defined by the places we kneel, but by the way we rise and reach for each other. The prophets came not to divide, but to remind us that all paths to God must pass through kindness. So, let our prayers not end in temples. Let them begin in how we live, in the warmth we give, and in the bridges we build beyond belief.
We continue with the rest of the news. The Economic and Financial Crime Commission, EFCC, has arrested the Chief Executive Officer of Gavis Logistics Limited, Ahamba Tochukwu, for allegedly defrauding investors of over 2 billion naira through a failed logistic investment scheme. In a statement, the EFCC said Tochukwu, through his company, lured investors with promises of a 50% return on investment in haulage, carrier, and e-commerce services. According to the Commission spokesperson, Mr. Dele Oyewale, investigations reveal that more than 400 people invested in the scheme but have been unable to recover their funds. The EFCC added that Tochukwu absconded with the money in November 2024 before being tracked down and arrested. He is currently being interrogated over what the Commission described as a Ponzi scheme. The agency also warned Nigerians against falling for unverified investment platforms. Meanwhile, many subscribers in Abia State who invested huge money in a 50% return on investment (ROI) in Gavis Logistics Limited, Umahia, have appealed to the Economic and Financial Crime Commission (EFCC) to help them in recovering their money. The investors, while thanking the EFCC for arresting the promoter of the investment company, said their major concern was the EFCC to recover their trapped money from the arrested Chief Executive Officer of the company, Mr. Ahamba Tochukwu. Some Abia residents who claimed that their huge capital and advertised interest were not paid to them, begged the EFCC to go beyond the arrest of the company Chief Executive Officer but to recover their money from him. The residents, including Ms. Favi, Sami Tech, Ndubisi Abakoma, Tobias and Harrison Limo, called for immediate recovery and refund of investors' fund. Moving on, the Rivers State Police Command has warned against the rising trend of women collecting transport fare from men and failing to turn up for meetings, describing it as a criminal offense. The caution follows a viral video in which the police public relations officer, Grace Inrige Koko, in a video on X said the practice amounted to fraud and could attract punishment under the law. Iringe Koko stressed that such actions fall under the category of obtaining by false pretense, noting that offenders could be arrested and prosecuted if complaints are lodged with the police. She further urged members of the public to avoid deceitful financial dealings. Meanwhile, the Anambra State Police Command says it has directed a mental evaluation for a 28-year-old man who attempted to take his own life by climbing a power transmission high-tension pole in the Awada area of the state. According to the command's public relations officer, Tochukwu Ikenga, in a statement, the incident occurred on Tuesday evening. Ikenga noted that upon receipt of the information, police operatives mobilized to the scene, condoned off the area, and persuaded the victim. In the meantime, the Enugu State Police Command has confirmed that 10 persons died in a 2 separate road accidents that occurred yesterday along the Ozala four-corner axis of the Enugu-Port Harcourt Expressway. Police spokesperson SP Daniel Undukwe, in a statement, said the first crash occurred around 9 a.m. when a Howo truck laden with bags of cement and marked Visco Investment Global collided with a Toyota Corolla attempting to overtake another vehicle. According to him, the truck's head and the Corolla went up in flames, killing all 5 occupants of the car, while 1 passenger in the minibus also died. Ndukwe added that another accident occurred around 3 p.m. when a Sino truck belonging to Global Investment rammed into a tricycle while driving against traffic from Gariki, Enugu to Nenwe in Ariri local government area. The crash killed the 4 occupants of the tricycle, who were later confirmed dead at the hospital. 10 other victims from the 2 crashes are currently receiving treatment in hospital. Meanwhile, Dangote Industries Limited has denied ownership of the truck involved in the fatal accident in Enugu. In a statement signed by its management, the group said the vehicle was operated by a third party. It added that tighter measures would be taken to protect its brand identity. Moving on to education. As schools resume this month from the long vacation, parents in Imo, Benue, Anambra and Ondo states have reasons to feel relieved. This benefit comes with the new ban on the use of non-transferable textbooks. This policy allows your school books to be passed down to younger siblings or other students, reversing a practice that held previously forced parents to buy new textbooks every academic session. The aim is to make textbooks reusable, especially for younger siblings progressing to higher classes. This shift is expected to ease financial pressure on households and promote sustainability in education. Over to business news. The federal government has announced that the Nigerian Customs Services (NCS) generated 3.7 trillion naira in the first half of 2025. A revenue performance that exceeded budgetary expectations and outpaced last year's results. Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, announced this during the 62nd meeting of the NCS board in Abuja. He said the cash represented a 12.5% increase above budget projections and 25% higher than collections recorded in the same period of 2024. According to the minister, the performance of the NCS was commendable, but he cautioned that deeper reforms would be needed to achieve the administration's ambitious revenue targets. He explained that the National Single Window Initiative, a digital trade platform scheduled for full rollout in 2026, is central to the administration's reforms designed to streamline import and export processes. The platform will reduce costs, eliminate unnecessary delays, and strengthen competitiveness, thereby improving the ease of doing business for the private sector. Still talking finance. According to new figures released by the presidency for January to August 2025, the country has achieved its strongest fiscal performance in decades, with non-oil revenues powering unprecedented growth in government collections. Reports indicated that a total revenues collected during the period reached 20.59 trillion naira, representing a 40.5% increase compared to 14.6 trillion naira recorded in the same period of 2024. This surge, according to a statement issued by a special advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Mr. Bayo Onanuga, as the result of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu reforms to strengthen compliance, digitize tax administration, and broaden the country's fiscal base. Now moving over to sports. Ahead of the crucial World Cup qualifying fixture between the Super Eagles and the Bafana Bafana of South Africa next week, the Free State Stadium, located in Bloemfontein, has been cleared to host the clash by governing bodies FIFA and CAF. There had been uncertainty over which venue would host Bafana Bafana's World Cup qualifying matches at home, after concerns had been raised about the unsatisfactory pitch conditions at the Free State Stadium. However, a joint statement from FIFA and CAF eventually gave the arena the green light to stage the match following further inspection by officials from both governing bodies. Still on sports, Celtic manager Brendan Rodgers believes new signing Kelechi Iheanacho will thrive at the club and endear himself to supporters after signing the Nigerian striker on a free transfer. The 28-year-old agreed a one-year deal with the Scottish champions after parting ways with Sevilla just a day earlier. His arrival came hours before the Europa League signing deadline and followed criticism from fans over club's failure to bring in a striker or transfer deadline day. Rodgers, who previously worked with Iheanacho during their time together at Leicester City, backed the forward to make an immediate impact. Over to entertainment. Nigerian rapper and actor Folarin Falana has opened up about his views on marriage privacy following widespread speculation that he has secretly tied the knot. The rumors began after a series of traditional wedding-themed photos he shared online quickly went viral, with many fans believing they were from a real marriage ceremony. Fowles, however, clarified that the images were part of a photo shoot project, not an actual wedding ceremony. Reacting to the frenzy via his Instagram account, the rapper joked that when he eventually decides to get married, people may not even take him seriously. To end the news across the country, here are the main points. The United States has approved $32.5 million for Nigeria to address hunger. This is rare since President Donald Trump suspended most aid through the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID. Governor Babagana Zulum of Borno State yesterday led a delegation of Northeast governors to meet with President Bola Tinubu. We also told you that the Nigerian Air Force has killed more than 15 terrorists in an airstrike on a hideout in the Sambisa Forest area of Borno State. That ends the news. For breaking news, eyewitness reports, please call 070-3043-7110 or visit our social media handles at Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, X, YouTube, all at Aneke TV. I'm Deborah Nwakaoba. Thank you for joining us.
The Federal Capital Territory, FCT, is a monumental city of edifice strategically designed to showcase the aesthetic beauty of a natural ambience, a land of opportunities often referred to as the center of unity. Abuja is the political hub of the nation, lying strategically at the center of Nigeria. It was officially designated as the capital in 1976, replacing Lagos, and formally became the seat of government in 1991. The decision to build Abuja was rooted in its central location, neutrality among Nigeria's diverse ethnic groups, and its vast land space, which made it perfect for expansion. Today, Abuja has grown into a well-planned, organized, and prestigious city that tells the story of Nigeria's unity and ambition. Early mornings in Abuja are alive with the buzzing sound of cars speeding through wide boulevards and flyovers. Porsche cars and executive luxury vehicles glide alongside long buses and motorcycles, painting a picture of a city where classes mix but remain distinct. It is a city where aristocrats, ruling elites and key players of the capitalist industry share the same roads with artisans, traders and ordinary Nigerians striving for daily survival. Yet, despite the aura of power, excellence and wealth, Abuja is uniquely human. It is not unusual to see a minister of the Federal Republic or a high-ranking official standing in line at a shopping mall, waiting to buy one or two things like everyone else. That blend of prestige and simplicity is part of what makes Abuja truly alive. As the center of unity, Abuja is home to people from every corner of the nation, hosting over 5 major ethnic languages and countless cultural groups. Each carries its cultural emblem and beliefs, all interwoven into the city's cosmopolitan fabric. Added to this is Abuja's international status. Embassies from nearly every nation in the world stand tall within its borders, making it not just Nigeria's capital, but also a diplomatic hub where cultures, politics, and global relations converge. The city's uniqueness is greatly seen in its structures and landmarks. Its skyline boasts the impressive NNPC Towers, the Golden Domed National Mosque, the World Trade Center, the City Gate, and the imposing Federal Secretariat. The Central Bank of Nigeria rises as a symbol of economic authority, while the National Assembly complex represents democracy in action. Justice is anchored at the Supreme Court, and other high courts and national pride gathers at the Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center, a hub for global summits and national dialogues. These monumental structures scattered across the city give Abuja its distinctive blend of power, beauty, and modernity. Abuja's districts are carefully planned and speak volumes of its identity. Maitama is mapped out as a residential haven for the wealthy, top politicians and high-profile individuals. Asokoro is equally affluent, hosting ministers, governors and ambassadors. Katampe Extension and Gazupe Estate are fast-rising luxury neighborhoods with scenic landscapes, while areas like Garki, Wuse and Area 11 estates blend commercial activities with residential living. Each zone tells its own story, yet all are tied together by the city's larger vision of order and beauty. Infrastructure is one of Abuja's strongest assets. Unlike many cities that grew without planning, Abuja was designed with foresight. Its broad highways are lined with greenery. Its roundabouts are often adorned with fountains and sculptures, and its flyovers make navigation seamless. The city gate stands as a welcoming symbol of pride, while routes leading to Aso Rock Presidential Villa reflect the seat of Nigeria's authority. From the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, travelers from across the world step into a city that is both modern and distinctly Nigerian. What makes Abuja special is not only its structures but also its spirit. It is a city where wealth and influence meets.
Go aya kwabo na ma no ibo amu kwado dimi no di ekwekwe yibo do obeba aya kwabo na ma na amu kwado dimi ma showo di de ekwekwe yibo do ne o da amu no na bu iya yibo do ne ke iya o da amu no goro mo bu ke ke ko do ne ke ayi de ke je bo do ne ke ko mo ga o do ko ko ma sha mi do ne ke ti lo ma lo lo ko wo ele yo babari wo bu ji be go je ka kala wo la ke do ku bi de ya do lu bu la bu le je no ke to wo du lo to goro iya mo ta mo te mo ku ma tu mo na ni de ni ba ku mo ta ma la ku ko ta de ni da ma jo
Yes, dear viewer, thanks for joining us on the program The Arena on Aneke Television. My name is Chris and I will welcome you on board. Let's talk today on the show about the continuous voters registration exercise, the CVR, issues and matters. How much do you know about the ongoing voter registration exercise as stipulated by the Electoral Umpire Nigeria, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC? Are you aware it has started? Who is eligible? What are we supposed to do with it? What is the purpose of this registration exercise? These and more on the matter today on the arena. But we have joining us to do justice to this matter a principal lecturer of the Department of Public Administration at the Institute of Management and Technology, IMT, Enugu, in the person of Dr. Emeka Nwanze, who is a regular on this show. You're welcome, Doc. It's good to have you join us, sir. All right, so, Doc, Talk to us. The voters registration exercise, though we have the other part of it that says continuous, which means it's a continuous affair. But then let's look at voters registration exercise. Aneke has said, let's do it again. What do you think about it?
It's a welcome development. Like I said before, you will say that the election was rigged without you having participated in an election that you are supposed to participate in. Well, see, continuous voters registration CVR, what it means is that has been an already existing registration or existing registration, but there are other forces or factors that can make you to be involved in this current voters registration, which is going to elapse in 30th of August 2026, between now and 2026. So it's an ongoing process. There are so many provisions that have been made by independent electoral commission. By if some people by last year are not up to 18, so the only way they could have a voter's card is by joining this process, this continuous voters registration. Some people have lost their voter's card. The only way to replace it is through continuous voters registration. Some are also on transfer. You may want to, when you get to the center where you are supposed to register, you now tell them that you want your voters card to be domiciled in your new area of location. Maybe you are in the northern part of Nigeria or in Kano, Kaduna, and you are now posted to Enugu as a result of your service as a civil servant. The continuous voters registration has a provision for that, where you can now voting in your own constituency. So these are the things that it contains and the reason why it is a continuous process.
So the exercise avails us the opportunity of making ourselves eligible to participate in the electoral process. Well, this is not the first time we're having voters being registered in the country, Nigeria. I wouldn't know. It's an ongoing process. This time around, we want to accommodate persons who didn't turn 18, which is the age for election participation in Nigeria. Some persons who were under 18 before the large general election took place in 2023 is now an opportunity for them to get on board. Doc, but there are issues, associated with the exercise. Right now, do you think that the expected turnout so far
there are things
is it encouraging?
That could discourage the potential turnout of voters to come and be involved in continuous voters registration? There are so many things we can discuss. One is disillusionment, post-electoral disillusionment. What do we mean by that? There are certain experience that Nigerians have had when we look at 2 years back, when we just finished voting general election, that some people are disillusioned because they concluded that their votes don't count. They concluded that some of people that are currently in power and occupying corridors of power did not win free and fair. Some concluded that sometimes there is outrage number of voters in constituency where there is overvoting. In consonance with number of voters, the electorates in a particular constituency. So these are the things that could make electorates, not to turn out in a mass to be part of this program. But there is something we are going to say about it as in the course of this
discussion. Now, so it's obvious that turnout in previous, exercises has not really been encouraging as a result of, as you said, disillusionment. People feel disillusioned. People no longer feel they lack the confidence in the whole system. So this time around, what's going to change? Are we expecting change in the level of response by the people? At least to make themselves available for registration. Is that your expectation that people are going to respond?
One of the greatest law that is permanent is law of change. And until we move, nothing changes. What my own expectation, that is my personal expectation, is that Nigerians should not be victims of past experience. Even the Bible says we won't continue to sin that grace by that bound. We won't continue to live in the past experience so that things will continue to take a kind of the status quo. We should change. And until we change, nothing changes. Now we should change on our mindset. We should change on our voting or political behavior, our voting behavior, our voting orientation and expectations. Because if you have voters card first, you have done your legitimate duty as a bona fide citizen, which is constitutionally a kind of what do I call it, legitimate, that as a bona fide citizen of a country, you have the right to vote and to be voted for. And the only ingredients that qualifies you for voting is your voter's card. And if you don't have voter's card, like I said, I repeat, you will not lay claim to election that you didn't vote, that it was rigged. It is when you have voted, defend your vote, that you will now say that this election I voted and it was rigged. But if you didn't participate in your legitimate right as a citizen by voting, you won't say that election was rigged. Now, it is when we change our mindset, the previous experience may not reoccur. I want to tell you that many Nigerians are coming out because of the hardship we have experienced, because of what is concurrently going in the country, that we don't need to tell anybody or make an advertisement that you should have a voter's card. Why? Because people are now beginning to see that credibility counts in terms of who gets what, when and how, in terms of who occupies political offices. Because people are beginning to interview people, and the researches that we are doing on ground says that people will now say, I have heard people say from the northern extraction that in the next election, I'm going to vote for a credible person, not minding their extractions. Because one of the things that have killed Nigerian political landscape and political behavior and culture is participating in politics in parochial interest and ethnic interest, and saying this person is from east, from south, from west. Though there is what we call zoning formula by either the constitution or mainly by political parties. But that notwithstanding, I believe that despite the zoning by political parties, like what is on ground now is that PDP has zoned the presidency of 2027 to south. Now, within that paraphernalia of zoning to the south, they are still the best, first among the best, or the first among equals. We look at it and vote to that person. And the only rightful tool where you can exercise such thing, or where you can expedite a change. Like you are saying that the APC current government has failed, how do you address their failure? It's by voting them out. And how do you vote? You must have what? Voters card. Just like somebody dreaming of becoming a vice chancellor of university. If you are not a professor, that dream can never come to reality. You want to be a medical doctor, you have to first start by reading science courses, biology, chemistry, physics, and you must have to write down. So the only modus operandi under which you enter university is that you have written down. Then they will now begin to talk. What did you score? Did you meet up with the score, the cutoff mark? If you don't have voters card, you are far from democratic participation. You are far from political participation. You are far from being a good citizen of your country. You are far from even discussing that things are not working the way that things are. But if everybody should be disillusioned and a kind of go into cocoon, political cocoon, then when those who have done what they have done, they will succeed in doing it repeatedly. But if everybody are conscious of the fact that my vote can change, the change. My vote can vote someone out. There is a way you may want to manipulate the electoral outcome. You see that it is not possible. When everybody is conscious of the fact that I need this vote and my vote is my power, then everybody will also vote and defend the vote. And if everybody is talking simultaneously, then I participated and look at the party that I voted. And this party that you are pronouncing that won did not win. Based on this, look at the statistics on ground, look at what is on ground, then you have a case. But if everybody will say, let them do it the way. After all, I have heard some people say they have concluded the 2027 election. It is a wrong mindset. You don't conclude without conclusion. It is a wrong mindset that you don't have to allow those things, the game, to be played the way it has been played. The only way you can change the game, you change the formula, is by having a voter's card. So I encourage people, Nigerians, the youth, the adults, that have not been in the process of having a voter's card, or that have been disillusioned, maybe because of careless, lackadaisical attitude, they have lost their voter's card, they have lost it, they don't even know where they are, they kept it. I equally want to tell the government of the day, if they don't have ulterior motive for 2027 election, to come up with something that is serious. I am a civil servant. There could be a law placed, even your children, even bankers, if you want to withdraw money, apart from BVN and other things that grant, can we see your voter's card? Can we see your voter's card before we register your children, your ward, in a particular school? And this thing, they will make it important so that every Nigerian will see it as also an important tool to expedite changes politically.
Wow, Dr. McKenwanze, I must have to say that that's a very beautiful presentation from you. Let me make that confession. Now, part of what we begin to identify as part of the problem is also the issue of poor level of awareness creation. Yes, we understand the issue around the citizenry no longer having confidence on the electoral system, well, due to past previous experiences on the outcome of the processes that we begin to see coming from elections. But then, apart from that disillusionment, lack of trust and confidence, the issue of poor awareness creation, poor enlightenment, because now we are dealing with a crop of Nigerians who just got, matured by age, okay, to be eligible for registration. Do you think that the authorities, especially the INEC, saddle this responsibility of, handling our electoral system as the electoral umpire, that they've done enough to actually sensitize and create much awareness for the people?
Before addressing the questions, I want to also know that African Democratic Congress is already pointing at INEC.
That's the ADC.
Yes, it's already pointing at INEC to have what we call transparency in the ongoing but continuous voters registration. And how do it is the sole responsibility of independent National Electoral Commission, otherwise known as INEC, to create voters awareness, to create enlightenment campaign, to go into the media, both social media, media of mass communication, like what we are doing now is part of the awareness. They should do it, seize all the media, and propagate that this thing is going on, where you can go to register or be involved in continuous voters registration. There are various centers, you can do it online. Look at the methodology of doing it online with your phone. If you don't have a phone that is smart, you can go to various centers. Look at the designated centers for continuous voters registration. The awareness is part of it. It's part of it because if you are not informed, you are deformed. And if you are deformed, you can't perform. So that is why even God started by communication, and that communication is what He used in kind of creating this world and the rest of it. So that awareness is part of it. Now I want to also beg the government of the day to also empower INEC to also use, I know Enugu states have what they call political enlightenment units.
Yes.
It's a unit in government house. They should use local government.
Within the media, the press corps.
That are not aware. Like Enugu state is made up of 17 local government. You move to those local government and begin to tell them, even if you use old medium like tank criers, you go around the village, do their old method of communication so that people in the village people that are in the remote area would also know that there is an ongoing voters registration process, that this is where they could go and get, registered, or because this is part of this program is you can update your profile. You can update it if you have registered before. If you are not, if you're underage by years and you are now in the age to participate in the electoral process, you can register. These are the things. Most importantly, awareness is the key.
It's key
to everything that we want the society to know about.
All right, we'll go on a quick short break, but then when we return, we want to also find out if the low level of enlightenment, sensitization, awareness creation is a deliberate act. We're going to see all of that, or is it just mere lapses and challenges? So stay with us, dear viewer. We'll be back after this time out.
Welcome to Aneke TV, the heartbeat of culture, truth, and innovation. From breaking news to inspiring documentaries, from grassroots traditions, mysteries of life to global perspectives, we'll tell your stories. We amplify your voice and your vision. With every screen we light up, we connect, inform, and empower. It's more than a television. This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.
All right, dear viewer, good to return with you to the program, The Arena, where we are looking at the ongoing continuous voters registration exercise that has just begun across the Federation, where INEC is providing the opportunity, to get younger persons eligible to come on board, to make them eligible to participate in future elections. Because if you are not up to 18 years in Nigeria, then you're not eligible, you're not qualified to participate. So it's an opportunity for people who just turned 18 after 2023 general elections to come on board and join the electoral process. And also, as our guest, Dr. Wanze, has made us to understand that it's equally an opportunity for one to, get your profile updated, just in case you want to relocate your previous, if you had relocated from your previous environment to another location, or you intend to before the next coming elections. This is equally an opportunity for you to do all of that through the registration process. But Dr. Meka Wanze, the low level of enlightenment, INEC has been around. Yes, we know it has been transformed from one electoral body to the other. The days of FEDECO was there. The day of what do we call it before it finally became INEC. NEC. Now is INEC. But then this is supposed to be something that we know has become a tradition. The low level of awareness campaign, creation, sensitization for the people, it's not beginning to look like we've not sat up from where we left off, from the previous. This is something that we know will certainly happen. So how come it's beginning to look like we are testing new waters again? Is it not supposed to be familiar terrain? What is going on with the media campaign and sensitization? Is it an intentional act, or is it still just laxity on the part of the electoral umpire?
I wouldn't want to blame holistically the electoral umpire on the basis of lack of awareness or lack of enlightenment campaign. I would want to also encourage citizens. Citizens have a right to be involved in political enlightenment programs. Political parties is also their duty. Political parties is their duty more than INEC, because INEC is a statutory organ to conduct elections. Then they conduct election that's supposed to be free and fair. But it is onus on political party who will always participate in this election through having a party flag bearer to enlighten the electorate. Because it is the electorate that will give them votes for them to come out victorious, not INEC. What electorates are voting is political parties, not INEC. So INEC is like who is providing the logistics, is providing other things. So also, if we blame INEC for not being politically aware, we should also tell political parties to also come up and wake up from their slumbers. The citizens of this country should also participate in enlightenment program. The churches have a great deal to do. If the churches in Nigeria are in every Sunday tells their congregation about the need for every church member to have voters card, to be aware politically, to be participating in politics. I tell you the truth, there is going to be a very massive turnout in a geometrical progression about political awareness in this country, about voting strength in this country, because these are the avenues, these are opinion molders, these are opinion pullers. Once they talk to their, the followers about this, and that is why even not just churches, even in the Muslim arena, they can talk to their worshippers that everybody should have voters card, not just holistically for INEC. It is everybody's business this time around. Because let me shock you, if people fold their hands and are not politically aware, are not participating in the politics, the ripple effect that they will be ruled by the people which they never voted for. That is the consequence. You will be ruled by the people that you never voted for. So for you not to be ruled by the people that you never voted for, we should endeavor to vote for them. We should endeavor to vote for the candidates of our choice. Let it now be that maybe the Independent National Electoral Commission did not do their own, but let us do our own. Because if you are waiting for all the traffic lights to be green before you start coming out from your house, you have not. That day you don't want to make a move. You must come out. If on coming to the traffic light it says wait, you wait. If the green light shows, you go. So what I'm saying is that every Nigerian, if it is even possible, those that are abroad, that they will be participating in this ongoing registration to have voters card, to vote from where they are outside the country. That will be very sumptuous. So that together, everybody will achieve much. Together, everybody of us will achieve a good success. Not just staying in your closest, at your comfortable zones and saying that things are not done well in this country. It is you and I that will change the change.
That will change the change. I'm talking about the people in diaspora, which you just hinted now. Don't you think, Doc, that our political system has gotten so ripened and so matured enough for us to be able to accommodate our brothers and sisters, Nigerians, who are not domiciled in Nigeria? If we're able to say, okay, those who have turned 18 after 2023, it's now time for you to come on board the registration. If you are relocating from your previous environment to a new one, come and update your profile. Why aren't we looking at getting our brothers and sisters who are outside this country on board so that they get registered and be able to cast their votes as well from their location elsewhere abroad?
Part of the electoral reform is what they call diaspora voting. People abroad can vote. We have over 30% of Nigerians that are living outside this country. You know what it means? If they can also participate by way of participating in voting, things are going to change. It is going to be a healthy and a welcome development. It's going to be a step in the right direction. I tell you the truth. It's going to be the implementation of this and their participation on that. The things will change. And also, those Nigerians that are not domiciled outside the country, that are not in diaspora, some of us, more than 60% on the day of election, don't vote. It's wrong. It's very, very wrong. So we'll be sleeping until that day. They'll be waiting to you tune on the radio or television to looking for or to hear who have won when you didn't participate. They will be looking at this paper. Say, these are wrong. That day, a single day set aside for voting is not too much for Nigerians to come out, even if it means queuing under the sun. Queue. Even if it means that there is under the rain, queue under the rain and in the sun when we were doing our
National Youth Service.
We sing it. And if we sing it, we should also be part of that thing. We should be aware. We should participate. Because the countries that most of us are taking at least to, or we are trying to look at their currency and use it to judge our currency that is devalued. It's human beings that make such things, such policies, such decisions at a particular time, and their country is relatively good. So I encourage Nigerians to also follow suit by being politically aware. by being politically conscious. It's not just that politics is a dirty game. If politics is a dirty game and it is meant for us to sanitize it, it won't be every day dirty game. And the only way to sanitize the policy and the polity is by our political awareness, by political participation, by having one man, one voter's card.
It's obvious that the registration exercise is a way of, becoming politically aware. Is a way of, participating politically. Yes, of course, we understand. But let's look at the past now, the 2023 general elections. We saw where INEC told us that we had over 90 million registered Nigerians who got registered for the elections. About 93 million Nigerians registered to participate in the 2023 general elections, according to INEC records. But then at the end of the day, when you sum up the entire votes by the various political parties at the presidential elections, it's a total, disappointment, because the APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the current president, under APC scored 8 million votes. The second runner-up, Atiku Abubakar of the PDP, got 6-point-something million votes. Peter Obi of the Labour Party got another 6-point-something million votes, while Kwankwaso of the NNPP got about 1-point-something million votes. At the end of the day, Dr. Wanze, if you sum all of these votes together, 8-point-something million, 6 there is going to give you, I think that's 12. You add it to 8 and to 1 million. We are looking at grossly under 30 million votes in all. So that at the end of the day, where is the deficit, the other balance between 30 million to 93 million? Where are they? So, I don't know. Do you really think that this voters registration exercise is something that we should actually spend so much that we are budgeted for now? Because Nigeria is going to spend huge sums of money, conducting this exercise. Is it worth it in the first place?
The truth is this. Some of those data could be that there could be area of manipulation in data. That one is obvious. Like in Osun State, within 1 week, they are recording 3-point-something thousand voters, which is outrageous. So what we are saying is that INEC could be right, and at the same time, they could be wrong in the data that they have on ground. But then, if it is 90 million, it is possible that people could vote and at the same time be apathetic. Apathetic in the sense that day they will not make use of their voters' card.
So they could have registered without coming to participate in the voting.
Yeah, the essence of having a voter's card is for you to participate in an election day. So if you have a voter's card and you are not making use of it, it's invalidated. It's of no use. If you have a voter's card, please, the day of the election, go and vote. And it is when you vote that you could have boldness and audacity to say that you share your experience on the voting day and say other things that the government could use if they want to expedite change, which I believe that this change we are looking for will come 2027.
Well, that's a prophetic statement, and that's certainly a good place to lead the discussion this day on the arena. Yes, of course, go and get registered if you've not registered before. But if you've registered before, please kindly do not do double registration. It's an offense. But if you intend to relocate your environment, then maybe you could just utilize this opportunity. Just go get your voter's card, register, and then get ready for the elections. As Doc said, the change we desire will come, certainly, in the next coming elections. Until then, we keep monitoring what INEC is doing with the registration. We keep monitoring the level of response by the people, and we'll keep bringing you the updates on Aneke TV. My name is Chris Aneke. Bye for now.
This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.
In Nigeria, holiday lessons, also known as summer lessons or summer school, have gradually become part of our education a la mode. What started as a simple way for schools and parents to keep children engaged during the long break has now become a familiar practice across many communities. Instead of leaving children idle for weeks, holiday lessons help them revise, catch up on areas they find difficult, and sometimes even get ahead of the regular school calendar. For many parents, this comes as a relief. Holiday lessons keep their children busy in a meaningful way. They sharpen study habits, build confidence, and help prevent the kind of learning loss that often happens when the break is too long. Some children also return to school feeling better prepared because of the extra learning. But not everyone sees it that way. For some families, holiday lessons take away the much needed time for rest. Children, after a long term of academic stress, barely get a chance to breathe before heading back into the classroom. Instead of playing sports, enjoying hobbies, or spending time with their loved ones, many end up stuck in another round of lessons. It also limits opportunities to travel, to explore new places, or to join holiday camps that will give them valuable life experiences outside of academics. When Aneke TV spoke to some Nigerians about this, the opinions were mixed. Some parents believed the lessons are necessary, while others argue that children should be allowed to balance learning with life outside school.
For me, I think holidays are meant for children to relax, you know, to relax with their brains, relax with their parents, because they've been in school for months, from morning, because most times you see that even after the normal school lessons, there is this lesson that they normally hold till like 4 5 in the evening. Then the next morning before 7, some have left their home, the parents have left, all in the name of pursuing education. And now holiday is around, yet these kids will never rest.
I will suggest that if our children are about to experience holiday lesson, they should be able to try a different school, not going to lesson in that same school, because the school that they have been may be making mistakes in trying to give them inculcation based on academic calendar and what they call the syllabus. But when they try another school or another lesson center altogether, they should be able to compare what they are having in their conventional school with their experience in the lesson. But there is also another option aside holiday lessons. Holiday is meant for our children to also try skills acquisition. Skills acquisition could be a better alternative to the holiday lessons.
I'm not a fan of holiday lessons. I want my children to explore other areas after school. When they are done with school, I want to engage them with skills acquisition. I want to engage them with traveling, seeing places. But if they must go for lessons, like I know some people attend extra lessons or lessons after during the holiday, then it shouldn't be so much. Give them time to relax.
Everything in life that has an advantage also has a disadvantage. For a balanced academic calendar, teachers, parents, and school managers need to work together. Learning is important, but so is rest, family time, and social growth. If holiday lessons are planned to be shorter and more engaging, children will have time to relax, travel, and grow in other areas of life. At the end of the day, holiday lessons are not entirely good or bad. What matters is finding the right balance. Our children need to be academically strong, but they also need space to grow socially, emotionally, and physically. That balance is what will prepare them not only for school, but for life itself. Chidimi Kemede, Aneke TV. Football. Football is more than a game. It's a language. It speaks joy in every goal, unity in every chant, and hope in every comeback. On the field, we forget our names and remember we are one. A single ball moves across lines, but erases boundaries, rich or poor, young or old. In that 90-minute stretch, everything matters. And sometimes, it's not just about winning, it is about belonging. Football teaches us that losing is temporary, but passion is permanent. That the spirit of the game often outlasts the score, and in the roar of the crowd, we find something like home. Religion. Religion wears many names, but in its deepest form is not in rituals. It is in love. True faith is not louder than others. It listens. It breaks bread with strangers and weeps with the broken. We are not defined by the places we kneel, but by the way we rise and reach for each other. The prophets came not to divide, but to remind us that all paths to God must pass through kindness. So, let our prayers not end in temples. Let them begin in how we live, in the warmth we give, and in the bridges we build beyond belief.
Hello and welcome to Civil Shield today. My name is Aneke, your host, and today we'll be unpacking a very important topic: the role of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps in regulating and licensing private guard companies. Now, we see all security guards at banks, schools, estates, and businesses every day. But who ensures these private security outfits are credible, licensed, and trained to protect lives and property? That's where the NSCDC comes in. So joining me in the studio today is, or will I say are, because there are two of them, are senior officials of the NSCDC. So I have with me the Deputy Commandant, of course, Uchenna Ubona, who is the HOD PGC department, that's Private Guards Company Department, NSCDC, Enugu State Command. Good afternoon, sir. It's good to have you on the show. And also with me is a Superintendent, of course, Mwatu Emmanuel, the personal assistant to the Enugu State Commandant. Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you so much, Amaka. It's always a pleasure to be here.
It's been a while we saw both of you. In fact, it's been a while I saw you, so
Thank
you're
you.
welcome.
Thank
to
you
the
so
show
much.
again.
Thank you.
Okay, so these are senior officials of the NSCDC, and together we will explore how the Corps regulates private guard companies, why licensing matters, and what Nigerians should know about engaging private security services.
Yeah.
All right, so I will just get straight into it. Let's begin with the basics. For the benefit of you, our viewers, you can briefly explain the legal mandate of the NSCDC and how it extends to the regulation of private guard companies.
Thank you, Amaka. My name is Deputy Commandant Uchenna Ugwonna, the head of the Department of Private Guard Company, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Enugu State Command. Let me start by telling us about the vision of private guard company. We have a vision statement, and the vision is redefine the private security architecture to meet with the current global security challenge. That's our vision. Okay. And our mission statement here is to contribute towards a crime-free state through effective monitoring and supervision of the activities of private companies in Nigeria. Effective monitoring and supervision of private companies in Nigeria. Now, the legal framework that empowers the Office of Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps to take charge of private companies in Nigeria is the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Act 2003 and the Amendment Act 2007 that enacted by the National Assembly of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That is Section 1, Subsection 3B, recommended to the Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to registration of private companies. That act empowers us to take charge regulate, monitor, supervise, discipline the defaulters of any private companies throughout the whole Nigeria, not even the state, throughout the whole nation. So that act is what gives us the room that we are now the lead agency controlling all the private guard companies in Nigeria.
Okay. But you know, many Nigerians may not even know that the NSCDC is the body that licensed these companies. A lot of people do not know this. Now, can you walk us through the process of how a private security company gets licensed?
Well, the private companies, though it had been existing before we took over, if you come along close that you want to register a company, like you want to register your company, we will refer you to go and register with Corporate Affairs Commission, CSC. When you get your CSC certificate approval, we will now come to our office. We will now seek for the directors required, which among the directors we will always refer you or prefer you to have. One of them must be a retired military or paramilitary personnel, maybe from level 8, preferably from level senior officer and above. The essence is that the person will be able to be checkmating, assisting us in checkmating the do's and don'ts in private guard, because the private guard is more of grassroots security. In advanced countries, there are the more people we use, but even in Nigeria now, we are using them. So private guard companies are the grassroots security. So people, if you register a company from corporate affairs, you now come to office, or now you apply. When you apply for your company, we'll profile you. It is your body, it is a civil defense will profile you to know whether you are qualified. All the directors will give us, will profile them, whether they are eligible to be to own the company, or even you to own the company, because some of them might not even be, maybe they find one thing and one thing or the other, maybe one crime or the other. But if you find anything one thing on that person, that license will not be approved.
Okay,
so we do it in a partnership, in a synergy with the Department of Security Service, who also assist us to provide those companies, that people that came to require, to seek for the licensing.
Okay, talking about licensing, because you mentioned things, you gave a list of things they should do, that you just walked us through the process. Now, what are the criteria that these companies have to meet before they can be approved by the NSCDC?
Yes, the criteria are like when you apply, you give us, like you need 2 or 3 directors or 4 directors, maximum 4 directors. You pay for the directors. That any payment made in civil defense corps is through federal government internal revenue account, IGR, federal government IGR. You pay through federal government. Civil defense don't collect any money. You pay through it's federal government money. So when you find out that you are paid, you will also pay for the application for the licensing. After paying for the directors, you pay for application for licensing. That's the application fee. When you pay for the application fee, you print it out. This is through remitter. We will now see it that you have applied for the company. Then we will now process it. That processing comprises our office checking whom you are, DSS also assisting us to provide the directors and even the people, the certificate you tendered, the document you tendered, whom you are, the school you went, how you worked, or where you have worked before. You provide those things. So it's integrity of whom you are. Okay. Whether you're a good person or a bad person.
Your integrity.
Integrity matters. Yes, your integrity matters. So you can be maybe a condemned criminal somewhere, condemn someone or a bad person somewhere, or being known as a fraudster, and you come to own a company, a security company. No. So that's why not only us, as we profile you, the DSS will also assist to profile you too. Okay. So it's also the 2 bodies will come together and profile you. Then having someone in the system who must be a retired personnel, either military or paramilitary with senior cadre, will also give us an edge control their company.
All right. Okay, that's it. That's actually a good one.
Let me just add a little to that. You see, of course, the NSCDC views private guard companies as more or less an extension.
Okay.
You know, because the NSCDC is a grassroots security agency. And we really believe that the PGC is a veritable source of intelligence which can aid in national security. I mean, because you see them everywhere in the society. You see them in banks, you see them in markets, you see them in companies, and they interact with people on a daily basis. And so we do not take that for granted. Okay. And so we really do view them as partners in helping to source information that will be critical to the safety of our nation.
All right. Very quite interesting. So let's move over to licensing. Let's talk about the importance of licensing. So, so let's talk about why this licensing process is just so important. So over to you, Mr. Deputy Commandant of course. Let me use Mr.
All right.
All right. So that's Uchenna Ugonna. What risk do we face as a society if private guard companies are not regulated properly?
Okay. You see the need for regulating a company. That is about making it to be very important. Okay. If you didn't regulate company, there must be people that can just come in and claim to be private guard company without checkmating and be defrauding people, will be stealing. We know about it. We have been heard about impersonation. Somebody can impersonate, even in this are called, they impersonate us. In the police, the people impersonate, criminals impersonate. So the essence that we regulate them to know those who are the real private guard companies. People that doesn't meet up to the standard or requirement will not be allowed to operate. We check those who are the company who are approved by us, we regulate them, we monitor them, we supervise them continuously. That gives us the edge to know those who are the real approved licensed private guard company. Because there are those who are not licensed and not even approved, that are fake or quack, that operate in the society.
That's right.
And which we have been arresting them and prosecuting them too.
Yeah, speaking about arrests, quite a lot of arrests have been made. I mean, within, honestly, it's almost a weekly affair because just like my superior has pointed out, quite a lot of what do I call issues arise, especially when these private guard companies are some of them are unlicensed. He has talked about impersonators. There's a lot of impersonation going on. Somewhere they just see some company that is credible, and another company wants to just mimic them, so uniform that resembles their uniform, and even parades people like that. And you see, so these are some very serious issues that we may have. The reason for licensing is to allow for sanity, to reign in the system. Because the private guard company are supposed to be professional. Because they deal with credible people in the society. They deal with, sometimes they are into VIP and escorts and all of that. There is need for professionalism. And if they are not licensed and properly regulated, you may see them charging fees that are unhealthy for the system. You may see them arbitrarily charging and becoming fraudulent in the area of charging of fees. And of course for security reasons also. So these are some of the reasons why they need to be licensed to ensure sanity in the system.
Okay, and to you, our viewers out there, we would like to hear from you. Have you ever hired or interacted with a private guard company? You can drop your comments across all the social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and right here on YouTube, all at Aneke TV. Moving over to the challenges and regulation, Mr. Uchenna Ugonna. Every system has its challenges, and what are some challenges the NSCDC faces in regulating and monitoring these companies?
Thank you so much. I want to use this opportunity to appreciate our Commandant General, Professor Ahmed Abakaudi, and even our also State Commandant, Dr. Elijah Etinwiri. They have been a big backbone for us to withstand the challenges. The challenges have been enormous. Most of these company directors or the owners of these private companies, those that are registered, are maybe retired army generals, retired commissioner of police, retired state directors of DSSS, and so on. And you now imagine now a situation whereby maybe I see you, civil defense, they say civil of yesterday, officer from Nigeria Secretary of Civil Defense of yesterday, we just heard yesterday, and how can you be controlling them? The law has made it that you ought to be under Nigerian Secretary of Civil Defense Corps. But now, as we have been forcing them, we have been telling them, let me not use the word forcing, we have been begging them, we have been pleading to them. You'll be regretting hence you are under us. You'll be giving us monthly report, weekly report, daily report of activities that's going on in your places where you are working. But most of them, when you ask them to give you a report, they'll say, they will communicate to their boss first before they respond to you. Because the guy who is the MD, who might be a retired commissioner of police before, might be looking at you, how can I be answerable to the office of Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps? Baby security of yesterday. I know they call us baby security of yesterday, but in practice, we are no longer baby security.
No more.
We are no longer baby security. We are facing the challenges. Whenever there is heavy attack, where military will be there, our men is always there. Where there is a banditry attack any place in Nigeria, after the military, civil defense is over there. Where there is heavy bombardment, heavy issue that concerns national critical issue, military and civil defense is always there. So why are they calling us baby organization again? We're no longer baby organization.
No more.
We have faced the challenges. So the challenges we are facing now is mostly that those ones that have been licensed and even approved now, being approved, who are owned by those retired directors, are not easily giving us the consent of giving us reports, even giving us some security informations, proactive informations. They see this, how can I, if I give it to them now, then they will excel. No, it's not that. Security issue is everybody's business.
Yeah, all hands must be on deck.
All hands must be on deck. Not only civil defense, not only DSS, not only police, not only immigration. It is a synergy of a thing. All hands must be on deck. So the major challenges we're facing now is that they are not giving us full information of what we need from them.
Let me just add a little to that, some of the challenges that the NSCDC faces in dealing with private guard companies. Of course, there are a lot of proliferation of unlicensed private guard companies. And just like I said earlier, quite a lot of, we've been following that up because the NSCDC is committed to ensuring that they cleanse the system, especially of illegal private guard companies, and so on, weed off all those ones that are not worthy to be in the system. Of course, we also have the challenge of what we call inadequate manpower. Notwithstanding that the NSCDC, we thank God that the federal government has approved new recruitments. That is very, very important to support the manpower base of the core. So we are praying that very soon we'll have more men in the system that will help to monitor. It requires a lot of monitoring, supervision, and even training, because that is part of, still under the purview of the NSCDC, to train the private guard companies. Of course, there are a lot of issues relating to many of the PGC companies not meeting up to.
I think we'll talk about that when we are back.
All right then.
Short
All right
break.
then. Thank you.
You are still watching Civil Shield on Aneke TV with Amaka Neji, and right here with me in the studio are the senior officials of the NSCDC, the deputy commandant, of course, Uchenna Ugonna, and the superintendent, of course, Mwatu Emmanuel. Don't go anywhere, we'll be back.
When danger calls and peace is thin, the civil defense will step right in. NSCDC, our nation's shield, protecting lives, securing the fields, from schools to farms and assets so grand. They guard the peace across the land. Join us every week on the program, The Civil Shield, your window into the world of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps. Learn how NSCDC protects you, your schools, your resources, and our nation's future. NSCDC, always vigilant, ever ready to defend the defenseless. The Civil Shield, enlightenment, engagement, security.
You're still watching Civil Shield on Aneke TV with Amaka Neji, and with me in the studio are senior officials of the NSCDC. I have with me the Deputy Commandant, of course, Uchenna Ugonna, who is the HOD Private Guard Companies Department, NSCDC Enugu State Command, and the Superintendent, of course, Watu Emmanuel, the personal assistant to the Enugu State Commandant. So back to you, Mr. Emmanuel Watu. We were having a conversation before going on the show break, so you can go ahead. We were talking about the challenges the NSCDC faces, so go ahead.
Oh yes, I was trying to highlight some of the challenges that the NSCDC faces in dealing with some of these private guard companies. I talked about the proliferation of unlicensed private guard companies, and of course private guard companies that are involved in fraud one way or the other, sometimes collusion and things like that. Of course, the challenge of manpower, I also highlighted that, that the NSCDC it's not easy for the NSCDC we are really hoping for the recruitment of more officers and men that will continue to pursue this very noble agenda, which is to sanitize the private guard company space. We also have the problem of some private companies allowing their staff to illegally carry firearms, because that is not allowed, because this raises some very serious legal concerns even, where they're not allowed to carry those arms, and they could lead to abuse. Not only for firearms, even for non-lethal arms, where they abuse these things. These are quite a lot of issues that we may have. Of course, the issue of having bottlenecks in the legal system, especially when it comes to prosecution, it makes it slow, a bit slow. So these are some of the things that we face.
All right. So talking about these unlicensed or unregulated security outfits, are there penalties for operating without proper registration? If there are any, could you please walk us through them?
Oh yes, there are quite a lot of penalties for what I may call airing private guard companies. One of them, of course, could be absolute withdrawal of their license. The license may be withdrawn outrightly if sometime in some cases they may be blacklisted, and that means that they are no longer fit to function as a private guard companies, and this will be made public. Sometimes if they are just certain what I may call minor offenses, there could be fees and so on and so forth. There could also be fines that they need to pay. Of course, all of these things go to the federal government. That's just the truth about it. I'm sure my Oga will highlight more on this. The sanctions, for the sanctions.
So, maybe they default us for one thing or the other, they pay fine. If after the panel, they will see the panel and they find you wanting, the management might fine the company. Maybe when you want to renew it, next day they want to fine you, you pay some amount, maybe 50,000, but it should be direct to the federal government.
That's right.
Account.
They're also late renewal. When you renew your license,
when you late renewal, you pay fine too for late renewal. So they give you time, 3 months before your renewal date for you to apply to go for the renewal.
That's right.
Yes.
All right. So let's move over to standards and training. We all know that security is not just about presence, but also about training and professionalism. So over to you, Mr. Uchenna Ugonna. What standards of training and vetting does the NSCDC require before a private guard can operate legally?
Well, we give them training in the area of beat management, crowd control, how they give us report writing, intelligence gathering, information report, or it's proactive report writing. So it's a thing of security aspect of it, so that they will know more on how to give us security reports.
That's right.
The signal, to tell them signal, how to give signal when you are in danger, how to inform your colleague that you are in danger. Someone will use whistle, use communication gadgets, like walkie-talkie, to give signals. So these are the areas like just this month, we just finished
a stakeholder
training exercise of all the private guards in the state.
That's right, sir.
Which about over 36 companies complied. 36 private companies complied. And that training was massive because we now have to remind them more of their duties, because training is just as constant. Training ought to be constant.
That's right.
For one to know what he is up to do. You remind them more what is, because every day security aspect, security issue changes, crime changes. So as crime changes, you bring the idea to tackle the crime. We teach them how to respond on this modern day crime. The crime of 1980 or 1990 or 2000 is not the crime of today.
Yes.
So we bring them to knowledge of the modern day security crime.
That's right. That is absolutely true. The training is very intense. And many times we focus also on, it's regimented.
Regimented.
So all those, what I may call values that we, as security men, we try to bring that to bear in their training. We also ensure that they are trained in the martial arts.
Martial arts.
Yeah, this is very important. Yes, we bring that to bear.
Self-defense.
Self-defense, which is very, very critical, especially as many of them are unarmed. So we ensure that they get that kind of training also.
All right. So still on that, does the NSCDC also provide continuous monitoring? In some cases, people train people. You give them the go ahead, and then you just leave them behind. Okay, I've trained you. You can do it on your own. There is no need. Now, does the NSCDC provide continuous monitoring?
I will say yes, absolutely.
Yes. That is the area.
Absolutely,
in this case, that's the area where I give kudos to our state commandant, Dr. Elijah Etimwili.
Okay.
You see, in leadership, you must have someone that gives you backup.
That's right.
If you don't have someone that gives you full backup, you might not do well. But Dr. Elijah Etimwili gave us backup that we will go on monitoring almost every week. Sometimes every week we go on monitoring, constant monitoring.
That's right.
And during that monitoring, we discover so many things. So then we will see their bad behavior, or maybe the way, even the dress code. You notice that some of them don't even dress well.
Absolutely.
So when you see them with bad dress code, we pick the staff, caution them, because you need to dress smart. You are representing the nation. They are representing the nation, under federal government. Yes, private guards are under federal government. They are representing the nation. So they are the grassroots security. So they need to be actively enough to perform their duty.
That's right.
We help even not even only that. Even some of them that have issues, redress maybe problems among the company, we also solve it.
Oh, yes. That's true.
That's why we have this peace and conflict resolution.
There are some cases where, for instance, private guards are not being paid properly. The companies get huge payments, but they don't pay them.
And they don't pay them well.
That's terrible. So such complaints are received by the NSAs and are treated.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's quite interesting. Okay, so to viewers out there, you're still watching Civil Defense right here on Aneke TV. You can drop your thoughts and your comments across all our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, and right here on YouTube. So I will just talk about collaboration and public awareness. And first of all, I'll be asking you with Mr. Uchenna Ogona, how does the NSCDC collaborate with other security agencies and communities to ensure, in enforcing private guard regulations? How do you collaborate with other communities to make sure that these people are doing what they are supposed to be doing?
Thank you. The synergy with other security agencies is very, very perfect. The police have been assisting us. Even when we want to go for arrest, some of them might want to resist, but as soon as you see if you call the DPO or any police around, they will enforce them to join us, to follow us. So the police have been assisting us. The military are there.
The DSS too.
DSS are also there, backing us up. So, in fact, collaboration in Enugu State is something else.
Commendable.
Commendable. Something commendable.
All right. So, let me just ask one more question. I know that most Nigerians are not aware of this NSCDC being the major body behind the regulation and license.
That's the lead agency.
Yes. So I want to ask, are they generally aware of the importance of checking if the security companies they hire are licensed? Because people just go, I want your company to do this for me. They don't even check if these companies are licensed.
Yes,
They
yes.
just go ahead and hire them. So what more can be done to create awareness so that they would know that these companies are meant to be licensed before you hire them?
Yeah, we thank God for this kind of publicity. That's why we are in love with Aneke TV. I mean, for the kind of publicity that you have. This series of programs, I know, is really going to the public.
Of course.
The NSCDC is, just like my superior said, is no longer that baby company or guguru security, like they used to call it. You know, the guguru is the cornmeal. That light, that means the light. No. The NSCDC has really come of age, and our responsibilities have increased. And what I may call, we are now very thorough, a very thorough internal security, one of the foremost internal security agencies in the country. And so we are taking our job very, very seriously. So the publicity is ongoing, and that we use every opportunity that presents, whether in workshops or seminars or programs, where we engage with the public to educate them about the increasing role of the NSCDC as it relates to the private jet companies.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
We also have a Facebook page.
Of course.
We also have Telegram page. We also have Instagram page, where we let the world, not even Nigeria, let the world know what we are doing.
That's right.
We have a Facebook page, Instagram, Telegram. You can communicate us.
Okay, thank you so much. And today we have learned that the NSCDC plays a crucial role in keeping our private security sector organized, professional, and accountable, from licensing to training standards and even clamping down on illegal operators. Their work is central to the safety we enjoy in our schools, banks, homes, and workplaces. So before we wrap up, I want to say a big thank you to our guest in the studio, the Deputy Commandant of course, Uche Naugona, who is the HOD Private Guard Department, NSCDC, Enugu State Command. Thank you, sir, for being here. And also thank you to the Superintendent of course, Mwatso Emmanuel, the personal assistant to the Enugu State Commandant.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's a delight to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, viewers.
Okay, so thank you so much for shedding light on this very important topic. See you guys again, same time, same station next week. My name is Amaka Nichi.
This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.